Hey, what's going on, everybody? Alex here with Freedom Mowers. Appreciate y'all tuning in. This week's episode is going to be about a lawnmower that I picked up off from Facebook Marketplace. I saw it for $100 and ended up getting it for $80. And yeah, I'll show you guys a little bit about it. So I got a Scotts John Deere. This has got a 16 horse Kohler in it. Looks like it's in fairly good shape. It's got a new fuel filter from the previous owner, new carburetor, and there's a brand new air filter in it. This is a 42-inch cut with the 12-gauge steel deck. It is hydrostatic transmission, and yeah, overall it looks like it's in pretty good shape. It's starting to get a little bit of some paint peel and a little bit of rust down in the usual spots in the footwells, but overall it's a pretty clean mower for its age. I believe this one is a 2011, or is this a 99? I can't remember on these. Maybe you guys can tell me. It might be a 99. And the battery is from 919. I did check the voltage in the battery, and it was like 6 or 7 volts, so it's not going to crank that. So got the jumper pack out, and let's see. Yeah, so I'll tell you guys a little bit about it. I was just looking on the marketplace and saw this mower listed for $100, and in the description he said that the mower starts and runs great, but when you put it in drive and let out on the clutch, the mower stalls out. And I didn't have a good picture from the side if this was a hydrostatic. When I looked at the pictures, I was thinking maybe it was a 6-speed and possibly the drive belt was bound up, maybe a pulley was locked up, but it is hydrostatic. And so normally that belt's always going to be turning. And let's see, so the next thought in my mind was, you know, possibly a safety switch, and I was thinking that it might be a safety switch on the seat, because, you know, if you have the parking brake set, it'll allow you to start the tractor, but as soon as you take the parking brake off, if it's not sensing that there's a rider on here, then it's automatically going to kill spark. So we're going to put the jumper pack on this and just see what it does, see if it's doing what he says. When I got it from him, the fuel line was disconnected and he didn't have any gas in it, and I didn't have my jumper pack, so I haven't really been able to test anything on it. And the other thing too is he said that he did a valve adjustment on here, and I don't know if you guys can see down here on the lower pulley off the crank, there's some oil. I did look and check to make sure that the crankshaft seal from the motor wasn't leaking, and it was not. So I think when he did the valve adjustment on here, he didn't get a good seal on the valve cover, so I think that's what's going to be the issue with that. So I did put a little bit of gas in it and put you guys on the tripod, put the jumper pack on it, and we're going to see what it will do. Alright guys, well, I got some gas in the tank, turned the fuel on, parking brake is set, jumper pack is on, so let's see if this will start up. Well, the ad said that it didn't, as soon as he let out on the clutch, it didn't move. And it seems to be moving just fine. I mean, I did push on the seat switch a little bit as soon as I picked it up, just to kind of see if it felt loose. I mean, the connections all felt tight and everything, unless it sat for a little bit, and maybe the actual plunger for the switch was stuck. It seems like it's working just fine though. All right, well, for $80 we got a runner and the decking gauges. It definitely it's burning off some of that oil though. It's a bit smoky. And the fuel, it seemed like it was kind of starving for fuel there. I don't know if you guys heard that or not. Let's see. There's a little bit of some trash down at the bottom of the tank. I don't know if there's anything in there though that would cause it not to fill the carburetor up enough. I don't really like using these big fuel filters on these, because technically these are for like if you have a fuel pump. And let me see, this hood's not staying up, so I'm trying to show you guys. I don't know if the angle of it's a little bit off too, because it's kind of flowing down and then it's having to go back up to the carb. Let's see. I mean, it's a brand new carburetor, unless it got a little bit of junk in there at some point. Well, I guess we had to take the hood off anyways. I wasn't trying to scratch it all to pieces. Well, there's a good view of the front. And it looks like it has been RTV'd. Let's see if we can get a closer view in there for you guys. Definitely looks like that it's leaking right here at the bottom of that seal. So that'll have to be something I take off and reseal on here. I guess now that we've had the gas on here for a minute, I'm gonna try to start it back up and see if the throttle picks back up a little bit, and then I'll let you guys know. I don't think there's any adjustments on this carburetor for fuel. I think it's just a preset, whatever the jet is on here. Yeah, there's just a idle screw, that's it. Probably take this anti-backfire off and clip the tab off on it, the plunger where it goes up. I just don't really like those. I'm glad to see that he did put a fuel shutoff in here. Anyhow, okay, I'm gonna set you guys down for a minute and see if I can't figure out what's going on here. Maybe it'll run a little bit better after having some fuel sitting in the bowl there for a minute. All right, guys, well, got a little bit ahead of myself there. So I went ahead and pulled off the anti-backfire valve on this one and clipped the plunger tip off. That should be far enough away where it's not gonna obstruct the jet. And there was a little bit of water down in the bottom of this fuel bowl. I did look at the little jet here on the side. and everything looks clear there. And I did also open up the fuel valve on it just to make sure we had good flow, and it does. So I don't know if it was just picking up a little bit of water. I guess we can pull this plug on it too real quick and see how the plug looks. Not really sure what kind of sealant they used on this. If it was just like regular black RTV or what. I mean, it definitely looks like it was running a bit rich. I mean, that's pretty black. Let's see. Let me check the gap on this real quick. We're about 30 thousandths on that gap. And the plug looks good. Could just be that it's just kind of loaded up in there and needs to be run a little bit. Let's go ahead and put the fuel bowl back on here. Shouldn't matter anymore about having this plugged in, because it should just allow fuel to go up now that we've taken the tip off from there. So turn this fuel back on. I can see the magnets on the flywheel through here, and they look a little rusty, but nothing too crazy. All right, well, no fuel leaks, so let's go ahead and try to start this back up again and see what happens. Let me get all these tools out of the way. Fuel is on. Well, still seems like it's starving for fuel a little bit, or just kind of missing. That could have to do with the valve adjustment on here a little bit, and so I guess we'll dive into the valves on this next and see where that takes us. I mean, it seems to be idling pretty well, but as soon as you try to throttle it up, it you know, it takes a minute to start picking up speed. But overall, it seems like it's pretty good so far. I mean, the deck sounded good turning on, just driving and moving. So let this cool off, and then we'll get into the valves on here and check that as well. Alright guys, I wanted to show y'all, right after I turned the camera off a minute ago, I took a look over here and I knew that the guy had put a new carburetor on here, and I got to looking a little closer at it, and it did not look like there was a gasket there whatsoever. And so I was like, well, let me put a little carb spray over here and see if that's drawing in too much air. And as you guys can hear it, when I sprayed the carb spray in there, it's kind of bogging the motor down. So we've got an air leak between the carburetor and the intake. So let me see, I'll get this off from here and see if I've got a gasket for it. I think that's gonna be our problem. All right guys, just as I suspected, there is no gasket here. And I do have the original carburetor right over here on the bench, and still has the gasket on it, and I don't really want to wreck it, but I've got a box of gaskets here, all my stash of gaskets and stuff like that. I've got one that is like almost spot on, so I think we're gonna try to put this on here and see if that will be the fix. So let me just slide this carb off. I'll get the gasket on there, and then we'll get it tightened up and see if we can get this thing cranked up. I'm hoping I can slide this off without having to take off all the linkages and everything. There is some stuff going on here. There is like a wood screw that's holding that's holding the governor arm here. I don't even know what he's got going on here. All right, let me get this taken apart and I'll get this gasket on here. I'll see if I can't fix what they got, some kind of hoop jack operation going here. All right guys, well, I got the gasket in there. What it was is he had broken the there's like a little retainer plastic that holds in the linkages on the armature, and he must have broken the other one, and so I took it off the other carburetor and put it on here and got the linkage sitting the right way in here, and I've got that gasket on, so we'll see if it'll start and throttle up like it's supposed to now. And I think we should be in pretty good shape if it does. Don't know if the idle is set back too far on here. I mean, this guy has some stuff going on. So when I throttle it back all the way, it kind of just stalls out. I may have to set the throttle on the actual carburetor. Alright, well, I think that got the majority of what was going on with the throttle there. Still seems like it has a little hesitation. We'll see if that'll kind of clear up a little bit. And when we get the valve cover off, I'll check the valve clearances on it, get that resealed, and kind of go from there. So I think I might wrap this video up here. Guess we had a little bit more issue than what he was talking about here. Sometimes when people start messing with things and getting into it, you know, then you're fixing others' mistakes. So what I think originally was a seat switch issue on this mower, that turned into the seat switch being okay. I think it just got kind of frozen up to the gasket on the carburetor after he had changed that. Possibly some valve stuff going on, just need an adjustment and fixing that leak. But I think we got a pretty good mower here for 80 bucks. It's just going to take a little time to get everything tidied up, and I think it'll be a good running machine. Never really dealt with the Kohler commands before, but I hear good things about them. I hear they're good running motors, and this one has the oil filter on it, so that definitely helps with longevity, making sure you're keeping up with your maintenance on your machines. And you know, if you treat them right, they'll run a long time. So I think that's it with this one, guys. We got it up and running, and got it running relatively smooth. Just got a few things to kind of tidy up here. I think on the follow-up video on this, and we'll get that situated, get it cleaned up, and show you guys the final product. So I appreciate y'all checking it out today and joining me wrenching on this thing, and I'll see y'all in the next video. All right.